Welcome to Hey, We're Talking. It's us again. Those three ugly mugs, huh? I got that one in there. Shout out to one person that might listen to the show while he's driving. Boontar. There you go. Three ugly mugs. All right, welcome to the show. Today we are talking about TV shows, entertainment that will be flooding your screen, your television, your iPad, your whatever, tablet you want to call it. There's all sorts of new stuff that comes out at the beginning of the year, and we're going to talk about that. But first, let me introduce everybody who's on the show. We got me, Scotty D, and then we've got Derek. How you doing, Derek?
What's up, guys? I'm fine. How are you? Beautiful.
And Bob.
Hey, guys. Hope you're doing well. Nice to be here with you.
Oh, all right. Great. So I'm going to dive right into this because I told these guys before we started the show, I started looking at all these television shows that are coming out, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about here. We're going to have to talk about TV more often on the show because this is crazy. First of all, in February at some point, I know The Walking Dead comes back. Now, two of us on the show, I believe, do watch The Walking Dead. Derek, do you watch The Walking Dead?
I watch it on Netflix, and I'm behind.
Okay.
I do like the show.
So no spoiler alerts for Derek, okay? Now,
Please.
Anybody out there a fan of The Blacklist?
I've never seen it.
Okay. There are a lot of people that like The Blacklist. My wife is like a crazy fan. They're doing a spin-off called The Blacklist Redemption.
That's kind of scary. I don't like spin-offs of TV shows because most of the time they fail.
Yes.
Do you think this has any chance whatsoever?
Yeah, I do not. This is why I wanted to go through this list, because there's some stuff on here that you're seriously. First of all, I happened to jump on Netflix today, and I wanted to see if there was anything new on there. Does anybody, you guys might be too young for this, but there was a show, and I think it was probably late 70s, early 80s. So this might be bad. You might not know this. Does anybody remember a show called This Is It?
No.
There's this catchy little "This is it, this is it."
Stop.
You don't remember This Is It? Okay.
Man, I wish I had a mute button for you sometimes. Gosh.
I'm glad I'm in control. This Is It was a show about a single mom, and she had two young daughters, one of which was Valerie Bertinelli, who was married to Eddie Van Halen. In fact, she started dating him, I think, while she was on the show. Anyway, this show kind of centered around them as single motherhood and all this kind of stuff. And there was this guy who was like the repairman at the apartment complex who became kind of their friend. Anyway, they've remade this show on Netflix to reach out to the Hispanic community. It's the exact same concept, except for the people that are on this show are Cuban Americans. But it's called This Is It. Same theme show, song, all the same words, but it's done with a Cuban flair. In fact, I believe Gloria Estefan is the singer of the song. You guys know who Gloria Estefan is, correct?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What am I talking to nobody here? Are you listening?
Yeah.
I actually fell asleep. It was such a boring sounding show. I had no interest in it whatsoever.
Right. I don't either. But I think it's funny that they're bringing this stuff back. Derek, go ahead.
Well, isn't This Is It, like a song by, I forgot the 80s. I can't do it.
This is it.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know the words.
If This Is It by Huey Lewis is what you're thinking of. Good grief. All right, listen. So here's the other thing that's real big. They're doing all these Marvel shows on Netflix especially. They've got a new one coming out called Iron Fist. Have you seen this? It's part of the Defenders series.
Yep, I've seen previews for it.
And I think Luke Cage...
Jessica Jones, and then also now I'm totally blanking. Yes, Daredevil. Derek has got them all down, dude. He's like, "Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about." They're also doing some shows based on movies. Now, listen to this. This is so I don't know where they're going to go with this. They're doing a Taken TV show. Taken.
Do you know what Taken is? Remember I have a set of skills. Whatever he says. They're making a TV show out of Taken. What are they going to do with these?
They're just reaching. I mean, if you watch TV and look at some of the new shows coming out, it seems like it's just regurgitated material.
Oh, it is.
What it is. They're doing spin-offs of other shows, bringing back some old shows, and trying to incorporate some movies into it. One of the shows that I do watch, which I enjoy, was called Shooter. It's on USA. It's kind of a newer show. I think we're
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg produces it. And that's a spin-off, basically, of the movie Shooter. But this one, there's a big twist on this show, and it's actually a really, really good show. But there's a lot of them that are coming out that are pretty poor in quality.
Yeah. So the other big thing that a lot of people were big fans of this show, 24. Did you guys watch 24?
I love 24. That was
Derek,
awesome.
You didn't watch 24 ever? You never watched Kiefer Sutherland save the world in one day?
I've heard of it, but I never watched it.
Well, they're rebooting this with an African-American gentleman. Not that matters, but Kiefer Sutherland is now the president of the United States on another show, so he's busy.
Which is an awesome show.
Until they started with their political crap. Sorry. Don't go down that road, Bob. Don't do it.
Don't.
24 Legacy will be coming out the night of the Super Bowl on Fox. Okay? Now, a couple more I want to throw out there because these are also big things that people were big fans of. Twin Peaks. You ever watch Twin Peaks?
My parents did when I was a toddler.
This is the funny thing because I'm not like 20 years older than you guys, but I'm just old enough, more old than you are, that I have all these things that I can remember that you have no recollection of. So Twin Peaks was a really big deal in the 90s. I can't believe you guys, you weren't a toddler in the 90s, Bob.
No,
what year
I wasn't.
Were you born?
Okay, so here, the first season aired in 1990, April 8th of 1990. I was 10 years old.
So not a toddler.
No, I was 9 years old, actually, at that point.
Okay, but you weren't a toddler.
No.
Okay, but anyway, you were 9, so I can understand how you wouldn't remember that. And it was like it was a bizarre show. And Derek, you were what? How old were you in 1990?
Look, Scott, I turned 10 as well in 1990, but when I was growing up then, we didn't have a whole bunch of channels. I had the major networks, and I was trying to sneak in episodes of The Simpsons at that time because my mom didn't like me watching that. My dad didn't care. But I was trying to watch The Simpsons 6 p.m. on Fox on my television in my room. I had to keep it quiet because if my mom caught me watching The Simpsons, because it was a bad show. It's not a bad show. Come on.
Back then it was, though. I understand because I graduated from high school in 1990. Okay, so
I didn't have time for no big boy bizarre dramas like Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks was
Quantum,
on. Twin Peaks was on ABC though, just so you know.
Okay,
so
I didn't have time for that, Scott.
Okay,
I didn't care. I was
Bob,
trying to watch The Simpsons.
So, yeah, and at that point, when I was 10 years old, I was watching Beverly Hills 90210 and Melrose Place.
That was very adult for a kid that was 9 years old.
My parents just kind of let me watch anything, but Twin Peaks seemed like Knots Landing or something. It was just like this show that I should not be watching.
That is the funniest part of everything that you just said is you don't remember any of that other stuff, but you reference Knots Landing.
Hey.
Out of all that, you say Knots Landing.
Well, because to me, all of those shows, Twin Peaks and Knots Landing, and there was another one that I can't remember. I could picture it in my head, but maybe it is Knots Landing. There's a little midget guy.
Falcon Crest? No, that was Fantasy Island, to plane.
I remember that one.
Love Boat?
Love Boat, that's what it was. So I never watched any of that stuff. I just know of it because my parents always watched it.
Oh, my God.
I always watched Mama's Family.
Yes.
They need to bring that one back.
It was like, yeah, that was one of those ones that if your parents and stuff were kind of strict with the things that you watched, Mama's Family was like good, clean family fun. It was just basically this lady who acted like a total redneck mama and hilarity ensued. I don't know if it was that hilarious, but it was back in the day. I can remember my parents being like, "Oh, get in here, Mama's Family's on," and I'd be like, "Oh."
It's a spinoff of the Carol Burnett show.
It is correct.
If you're not familiar.
See,
I'm not here. One of the shows I'm excited that I see that's coming out soon is Bill Cosby's new show.
You're so full of crap. There is no new Bill Cosby show.
Oh yeah, he was on Judge Judy. My bad.
Okay, so. Rape jokes aside, another big deal for a lot of people, there's a new Star Trek coming out, Discovery. And I believe this one is going to be on network television on CBS, unless I'm crazy.
Okay, now you've just aged yourself. You might as well just say, yeah, we're watching Star Trek on network television, eating some cold cuts. Who says network television?
I think I'm probably very current by saying network television because there's so many different options now. You've got Amazon, Hulu, Netflix. Everybody's creating their own stuff. Even Apple is creating their own programming.
Network television. Okay, Grandpa.
That's true. Hey, I'm right on this one. Also, a couple of Netflix shows that people might be interested in. Oh, I forgot to mention this one. Derek, you'll love this. Did you enjoy The Wizard of Oz as a child?
Sure.
There is a new show on NBC called Emerald City, and it's based on Wizard of Oz. Again, it's like, really? You got nothing better.
No, I've seen some of these. I think a few years ago, Sci-Fi put out a little mini series based on Wizard of Oz. They try to do these reboots, these reimaginings. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let Wizard of Oz be the Wizard of Oz. I didn't even like the new movie, the James Franco thing. It's not good.
Yeah. So Oz the Great and Terrible or something. I can't remember that. Something like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bob. Sorry.
So we always see what occurs is if one show succeeds, they try to branch off and make things close to that. So the whole reason that this Wizard of Oz spinoff is coming out is because there's a show called Once Upon a Time,
which Cheryl loves.
And that show is all the mythical Disney princesses and all this stuff, and I mean just Peter Pan and everything.
Yep.
Think of all the fairy tales combined on one show. So that's been very successful. So that's why they think, hey, this Wizard of Oz thing may work.
Yep, you have to do copycat for sure. There also is 2 shows on Netflix I did not mention, and I want to say them really quickly as we wrap up here. There is one called A Series of Unfortunate Events with Neil Patrick Harris, better known as Doogie Howser, MD. I think that was based on something Lemony Snicket's. It's a kid's thing. I wouldn't be interested in it, but I know people would get excited about that one. The other one on Netflix that I'll reserve judgment on is a show called Dear White People. Looking forward to that. Dear White People.
Who's Doogie Howser?
Oh my
Come on,
gosh.
Neil Patrick Harris is Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother.
The opening theme song to Doogie Howser will forever be one of the greatest songs ever made. All right, last but not least, anybody a fan of The Office, the British version?
No, never seen it.
Oh
no.
My gosh. I have so much work to do. David Brent will be making himself come back to life on Netflix. David Brent has a new show on Netflix. Ricky Gervais.
Great job, Davey. I don't know you, but good job.
This is ridiculous. I feel like I need to take you guys to school. This is sad.
Hey, I'm looking forward to
sad.
I'm looking forward to Walking Dead coming back. I'm looking forward to Game of Thrones coming back. I'm looking forward to I don't even know.
Yeah,
there's a whole
Orange is the New Black.
Homeland to come back on. Another good show.
Are you sure? Are you sure Homeland's a good show?
It's an awesome show.
I must have missed it.
I'm like 3 or 4 episodes in, whatever it is. Or 3 or 4 seasons in. I think this is the 4th or the 5th season.
Yeah, I just don't like the chick as part of it. Sometimes an actor or actress can ruin a show for me. And she did it. Boo. Homeland, boo. Game of Thrones, Not into the fantasy stuff.
Game of Thrones. Awesome.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
you
need to
guys-
take you to school, Scott.
You
Yeah.
guys just like it so you can watch people have sex with their sisters.
No, that was pretty
Stop.
like the first or second season where they had most of that stuff. Other than that, it's all that stuff's gone.
Derek is legitimately like that. Just put him over the edge right there.
You're getting on to us because we don't know we're not sure about Twin Peaks Knots Landing, and you're like, Game of Thrones, not into it. It's stupid. You what? That is the best show on television. That is legitimately the best show on television, and you're just like, yeah, but I want to watch This Is It. You know, Scott.
I can't have cold cuts and watch network TV if I watch Game of Thrones.
And on that
End the
note,
show. Please.
we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to teach these guys about real television. Game
This
of
may be the
Thrones.
best episode ever.
Man. This is one of the best episodes ever because people
No,
got
this may be the
educated.
best.
What a bunch of and don't people on Game of Thrones like die and then all of a sudden because everybody's ticked off they get to be alive again?
No.
It's not as bad as you think.
That
In
is
the
true.
There was one individual that died and came back, but there was a reason for that.
No, it was all because people got ticked off and died.
But they do kill off all the main characters in the show. I mean, as you continue through
Spoiler
it.
alert! Wow, now I can't even watch the show. Thanks a lot. On that note, thanks for listening to Hey We're Talking. Oh, gosh. Sick.